Hey, can we get a sick beat here? I have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Matthew. There you can find bonus content from our podcast. Both the Ripwits for Paleobites. For Paleobites, we discuss pop culture, featuring prehistoric animals. And this month, we're talking about 10,000 BC. 10,000 BC. Yes, the World Network film. It's great. Everyone hates it, but we love it. It's about cavemen, the mammoths, building pyramids. Link is in the description. Thank you for your support. Have a wonderful day. Ooh. Sort of like a freelance alternative style beatboxing sort of thing. Yeah, this was totally worth the 20 minutes of edit time it took. Totally worth it.
Roar, growl, snarl, bellow.
Welcome to Paleobites, the podcast that desecrates the dead so much we really should be in prison. My name is Matthew Dahl, and each week I and a rotating series of guest co-hosts talk about and rate a genus of prehistoric animal, be it dinosaur, mammal, arthropod, and so on. This week I'm joined by the famed daredevil who's gone down several Class 5 rapids.
Not yet, but I have done a Class 4.
Oh, okay. She's working her way up to a Class 5.
Someday.
You're going to be that person in the barrel going down Angel Falls someday.
Nah, not me. I'll let some other lunatic do that.
It's Natasha Krech. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well.
It's good. Good to hear. It's a nice day. We just had, again, we're recording this in early December. We just got our first snow. It's a late snow for Colorado.
Right? It makes me worried about what March is going to do to us.
It's true. Like, if we had a late winter, we're going to have, no spring, pretty much.
Yeah. I remember the blizzard of 2021. Oh, that was a
You mean
booger.
This year?
Yeah.
Or I guess last year when this episode comes out.
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
That blizzard was something else.
What about the bomb cyclone? Remember the bomb cyclone, they called it?
Yep.
That's such a funny name. It sounds like someone in the 90s thinking it's cool. It's like, hey, think of that bomb cyclone we had, huh? Like, that's a bomb babe there, huh?
That almost sounds 60s or 70s while you're
true.
at it.
Yeah, it's true.
But then again, there's some blurring at the edge of the 90s.
Yeah, well, there's always those transitional periods, like now we're currently in the 20s, and, back in
Yes,
the...
and guys haven't started wearing suits all over the place.
Where are the Tommy guns? Where's the prohibition? We already had the pandemic, but...
They tried.
I guess it's true.
The gangsters certainly aren't looking any better these days. Come on, guys. Take some notes from the Roaring 20s.
I know, those gangsters are so much more fashionable. They had good hats, good colorful suits.
Right.
Yeah.
They looked clean and...
Back when it was a classy man's game to be a gangster.
Yeah. We could do without the Chicago typewriter, trust me.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yes. That was my professional impersonation of a machine gun. Anyway. Okay, I guess that's my dinosaur-related question. If you could fit a dinosaur in the 1920s, which one and why?
Ooh, the 1920s
Art Deco. Jazz.
1920s was an interesting time.
For more on that, look at my either upcoming or hopefully it's already out by this point when this comes out, book Tesla Knots.
Nice. So, to go with the 1920s, I would almost want a dinosaur with some flash. Because that was the era of the flappers.
Yes.
There was some jazz was a thing.
Yep.
So
people had crazy hats.
I would want a dinosaur with some flash to it.
How about one of those oviraptorids, the ones with the big feathers, or like Caudipteryx. You know Caudipteryx?
That would be cool. Or any other dinosaur. Too bad pigments don't show up well in the fossil
Sometimes
record.
They do, but sometimes we can find one. There's one that's rainbow colored, for goodness. I forget the name of it.
That would be a fun one.
Yeah, imagine it with the showgirls on the stage.
Actually, that's exactly what I would imagine.
Yeah.
Because the 20s, the flappers, more of the showgirls, that was a thing.
They could replace all those people in blackface.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, so...
maybe for the gangsters, maybe give them something that while slow was heavy.
Yeah,
give an ankylosaurus.
Ankylosaurus was what I was thinking.
Give them an ankylosaurus.
Ankylosaurus,
that's nothing to,
famously bulletproof against Tommy guns. I'm assuming so. I don't know.
Yeah, we assume.
Oh, man. That'd be pretty good. I'd enjoy that.
Something fast for the bootleggers.
Yes, something like that. Something for Mr. the Gatsby, the great guy himself, to have at his parties.
Yeah. What were some of the fastest dinosaurs?
Probably like the Gallimids or the Ornithomimids, like that, I assume.
Yeah, you would want something a little bit more sizable for the bootleggers who are
That's true.
always dodging the law.
They used to think Deinonychus was the fastest when they just saw the arms. Like, this is clearly a big ornithomimid, but enormous. So, like, clearly it's fast, right? And then we found the rest of it. It's like, no, it's a lumbering, hunchbacked thing. Like,
I mean, I know we talk about raptors a lot, but they would be actually a very versatile dinosaur
they
if
would,
you
and
could train them.
they're quite fast, yeah.
There's what the bootleggers got, is
Yeah.
some trained raptors of different sizes and species for the different runs.
At the speakeasy, the raptors are the ones that, like...
They're the ones that are bringing the booze.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say guarding from people who come in, but no, I like that better.
Well, they could do both.
Yeah, just...
The smaller, faster ones carrying the smaller kegs,
Yeah.
outrunning the law.
Yep. Oh, man.
Oh, there's an idea for you, Matt.
What?
Dinosaurs in the 1920s.
I'm sure it's been done, but all right, I'll do my spin on it, I guess. Combine both my books, Mesozoic and Teslanauts. But we're talking about a little bird that I guess would be good in the 1920s, and pretty much just the same as any other bird.
Well, based on some of these recreations, this bird looks like it would be classy enough to fit in with the roaring 20s.
A woman's hat could be made from the feathers of this thing.
Or, even have it sit on the shoulder of the likes of Al Capone.
Oh, that's true.
It may not be vicious, but it looks like it's got some class to it.
It does have some class. Well, it does have some teeth and claws, but we'll get to it here. So
What are we talking
We're
about?
talking about, I'm assuming this is how it's pronounced. I should look this up. Iberomesornis. It means Spanish intermediate bird. Meso makes sense for intermediate, like Mesozoic, which is like the middle period, or Mesoamerica, the
and
middle.
Ibero, that refers to a region in Spain.
Oh, so it's probably Iberomesornis then, okay. So type is an enantiornithine. These Greek compound words. Enantiornithine theropod, a group of extinct Mesozoic birds that all had teeth and clawed wings, but otherwise looked very similar to modern birds. Size 8 inches / 20 centimeter wingspan, 0.5 to 1 ounces, or 15 to 20 grams. So little. In fact, for comparison's sake, my cockatiel's about 90 grams.
Yeah, it sounds like it's about the size of a downy woodpecker that we have here in the state of Colorado.
Yeah. Really? Woodpeckers are that little?
Oh, a downy is actually pretty small.
So I was thinking like a little sparrow or something, but oh.
I mean, we do have some pretty small sparrows here. And then there's been a recent addition to Colorado. And I swear I'm not making this up, folks.
What?
They're little gray birds. They're called bush tits.
Oh, I know the bush tits. Like, I've talked about that with my dad, who's a master birder. I'm like, ornithologists are such perverts. You got tits. You got boobies.
You do.
Like,
So, folks, we're not making this up. They're cute little gray birds, though. We started seeing them in about late 2019, early 2020. We started seeing them at our feeder. We weren't sure what they were. We talked to our local bird store where we get our food for the birds.
And they were just like, without even blinking an eye, like, oh, those are bush tits. And then everyone's
basically.
like,
Yeah, they're bush tits. Who made up that name?
Ornithologists who couldn't get laid. Anyway,
Somebody who spent too much time alone.
it's like, oh, I want tits. I want bush.
Wait, isn't this supposed to be a family show?
Velociraptors, come in. This show, I don't know. I'm just assuming that most little kids aren't listening.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
I'm just using the sensors with the Velociraptors to avoid the explicit tag on iTunes. So anyway, diet unknown, as the skull has not been uncovered, but presumably it's an insect-eating carnivore. Time, Early Cretaceous, 126 to 124 million years ago. Location, Spain.
Nice.
Yes, that makes sense. The Ibero. Described in 1992, pop culture appearances. A flock of them appeared in the 4th Walking with Dinosaurs episode, where they swarmed against a Quetzalcoatl-sized pterosaur to drive it away from their nesting grounds.
Sounds like modern bird behavior. There are certain birds that, oh heavens, if a modern raptor comes in.
Yeah, exactly. The bird of prey, yeah.
Yeah, they'll swarm.
Mm-hmm. And like next to this pterosaur, they looked like teeny tiny bugs. It was cool to see the comparison. If you listen to the show at all or know even a little bit about paleontology, you're aware that birds evolved from dinosaurs, and in fact are still considered dinosaurs to this day. The thing is, though, birds didn't exist only after the non-avian dinosaurs. They coexisted with them for many, many years, and also coexisted with pterosaurs for quite a bit as well.
And they coexist with us.
Yeah, they coexist with us now. In fact, and I've said this before on the podcast, there's a chance for a brief period bats lived in the late Cretaceous too.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, we have evidence of bats dating back nearly 60 million years ago, which is barely a few million years after that meteor, and then in the end of the non-avian dinosaurs' reign. But these bat fossils aren't proto-bats or anything. These look like just modern bats.
That's impressive.
So
This is the first I've heard of it.
yeah, no, bats are one of the most ancient groups of modern mammals, even though they're so specialized. And since these things are so specialized, there's a chance that they first evolved at the end of the Cretaceous that we haven't found yet. And if that's true, there's a brief moment in geological time where birds, bats, and pterosaurs, the three major flying vertebrate clades, all coexisted.
That's pretty darn cool.
That is pretty cool.
The skies must have looked incredible.
So much. Man, wouldn't that be cool? That's like 60 million years after the creature we're talking about here, though. So I'm not sure why I'm bringing this up. And then again, the last time I brought this up was on the episode on Yi Chi, which existed even earlier than this one. So I guess I just like talking about it.
I mean,
it's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
Birds, bats, pterosaurs,
Oh, my.
they all fly.
They do all fly. Well, it's kind of funny because, like, Yi is that little dinosaur with dragon wings, and it also flies.
Yes, it
And
was as close as Mother Nature got to a wyvern.
Yes, indeed. It's funny, if you look at, like, the archosaurs, a group that includes modern crocodiles, out of the four, I guess if you count Yi as a flying animal, out of the four flying vertebrates, archosaurs make three of them.
Wow, that's actually pretty impressive.
Birds, pterosaurs, and Yi.
I mean, especially when we consider that the archosaurs would become the crocodiles.
Yeah, exactly. So that's weird to think about, right?
Evolution does weird things.
I'm just waiting for The Future is Wild to come true, where there's flying fish called flish. Remember that? Remember the flish?
Yes, the flish! They were always on the covers of the DVDs.
Because they looked so weird.
Honestly, they had weirder looking.
They had mouths that had opened up like an alien mouth with a beak and then a mouth inside it. Why?
Why? Because the animators got bored or were on something.
There were so many drugs done in that show. Squid people would take over the world, as was implied at the end.
Yeah, and that one was
Squibbins.
weird.
Squibs swing through the trees, along with Mega Squid, that elephant-like squid that walks on 8 legs.
I would like to know what the animators and the people involved in the project were on. I don't care if it's legal. What were you on?
They watched a ton of anime. They were
Maybe, or...
Future is Wild is very, very popular in Japan, actually.
How am I not surprised?
Yeah. Iberomesornis was much more derived than Archaeopteryx. It no longer had a long and bony tail. Instead, it had a vertebrae column ending in what's known as a pygostyle, I think is what it's called, which all modern birds have to support their tail feathers. It also exhibited the proper foot claws to allow perching, again like most modern birds. And who are we to assume several pre-avian dinosaurs also didn't have perching claws?
That would be a reasonable assumption, considering the relations.
Yeah, like dinosaurs are getting more bird-like all the time.
Now, here's a fun question. Did it have a backwards-facing foot claw?
I'm not sure, honestly.
That's actually a really unique trait to a few groups of birds.
Yeah.
Here in Colorado, one that I think of distinctly would be the red-breasted nuthatch.
Oh, yes.
That backwards-facing claw allows it to climb literally upside down a tree trunk.
Oh, that's cool.
It's one of the behaviors that if I can't tell what color the bird is, I'll watch for that behavior. And if it climbs upside head first down a tree, it's a nuthatch. We also have white-breasted nuthatches in other parts of the state.
I've heard my dad talking about those. They're pretty cool.
They are. They're really cute. I saw a few in the field a few days ago.
There's a lot of cool Colorado birds, although it's not quite as cool as like the monk parrots that are in some parts of America, like including Chicago. Yes, Chicago has parrots. Isn't that weird to think about?
Yeah! I wouldn't think Chicago, parrots. What?
Yeah, man. So... but no, you're right with the backwards-facing claws. Like my cockatiel, I think most parrots do this. 2 forward-facing claws, 2 backward-facing claws.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool.
I know that nuthatches have 3 forward, 1 backward.
That makes sense. Although you can tell like which one of... Cause
birds are more ground birds than tree birds, because my dad has a blue-headed Pyonis parrot, and she's clearly much more of a tree bird because she like loves to sit on perches. She eats with her foot. She sleeps on perches while like my cockatiel goes on the floor. Like my cockatiel always like eats with her beak too, like just never uses her foot or anything.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just kind of cool to see different adaptations.
It really is.
Yeah.
And, you know, just a fun little tangent. So one time a little black-capped chickadee got into our house.
Aw.
The only way I realized that it was in our house is it crashed into my bedroom window inside.
Oh no.
To say the least, it ended up in a wild goose chase. I did catch the thing.
Oh, so it wasn't stunned or anything?
It wasn't stunned. No, it was fine. Chickadees are hardy little buggers.
Yeah, that's good.
But long story short, I ended up catching the thing, and you would think once I was outside with an open hand, it would fly off.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope. Though the talons of a black-capped chickadee are actually very, very strong. You can tell that they're related to dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, no, some of those claws, like
For how small they are, chickadees are strong.
Oh yeah, I love the calls they make though. Do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah.
That's where they get their name.
Yes, they do. And if you listen to them, sometimes you can tell what's going on in the environment. Chickadees will alert not only other chickadees, but other birds even, to an aerial predator or any other threat.
That's usually when they go do-do-do-do-do. But so, while Iberomesornis was still a primitive bird, by this point birds were really starting to spread. There were several even more derived birds living in China around this time, such as Sinornis and Confuciusornis. Those are not very creative names. Like Confucius and Sign, like Sinophobia. Oh man. Showing that these birds' slow takeover of the skies was starting to come into fruition. Pterosaurs were sweating bullets by this point.
I'm sure they were.
Although, except that millions of years later, birds, bats, and pterosaurs might again all briefly coexisted, meaning there was plenty of room in the sky for everyone. To quote the main NASA scientist in the Michael Bay masterpiece Armageddon, it's a big-ass sky. Yeah, it's just like look at this thing. Like the depiction in Walking with Dinosaurs had it really colorful. It had like blue and red on it, and like it had kind of a more dinosaur-looking face.
Well, and because I use Wikipedia to just at least get a general idea of what I'm talking about, one of their recreations had it black and white.
Oh, that's cool.
Almost like some familiar woodpeckers here in Colorado.
So let's rate it 1 out of 65 million, shall we? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it has teeth, and that's cool. Other than that, I don't know, 20 million. 25 million. Why am I always doing multiples of 5? 22 million.
I mean, it's a pretty bird. It reminds me a lot of what I see in my backyard. It would probably blend in with my backyard birds until closer inspections, if it were still around.
And I guess that's the cool thing about it, too, like that it looks like that despite it being so long ago. Like, this is early on in the bird's evolution,
So, in that case...
Maybe it's a little cooler. I don't know. What do you think?
I think I'm going to give it a 24 million, just because, I could see it on one of my backyard feeders if it were still around today.
You'd be like, oh, that has teeth. Ah! And wing claws.
Honestly, it would be kind of a cool addition to the backyard bird feeder.
That's true. It's true. It would be indeed. All right. Well, that's it for this week. If you want to get a hold of the show, you can contact us at mattsd@matthewdonalcreator.com for any general questions to either co-host. You can find me on social media at MatthewDonCreator on Facebook, at MatthewDon64 on Twitter, and MatthewDon64 on Instagram. Subscribe to the Patreon if you want. There's bonus episodes for all different types of dinosaur-related content or dinosaur-adjacent content.
Yes, we review some pretty crazy movies that feature dinosaurs.
Or sometimes they don't even feature dinosaurs, and I'm like, close enough. We talked about Godzilla vs. Kong once.
Is Godzilla a dinosaur, though? We'll let our listeners decide.
I mean, in the Monsterverse, I think they mentioned he's from the Permian period, so definitively no. But he is prehistoric, so it's not just dinosaurs or dinosaur-related content that I'm doing there. I'm also doing like just prehistoric content, like Ice Age. I'm sure I'll cover on there.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get all the co-hosts together for that one.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Maybe a live stream. We all watch it.
And especially like the last one, we're just like, what were they smoking? There's this magnetic meteor with pink crystals that are like they hover on it like because it's magnetic.
What?
And like it like makes them live forever. It's like a fountain of youth. And
okay, what were they on?
Purple energy. I mean, it looks pretty, all these pink crystals alongside these like ferns and other stuff inside, but just like, what were they thinking? I mean, it's creative. But boy, it's weird. There's a Dalai Lama that's actually a llama.
What?
That famous Ice Age creature, the llama.
Okay.
There's Dakota raptors, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
I think they're Dakota raptors. I don't know, it's never making fun. They're just big, feathered raptors that fly. So,
Oh.
but most fans have decided they're Dakota raptors.
Well, let's stay with the fans on that one.
Yeah, Dakota raptors it is. Anyways, yeah, we watch that. We get really drunk and like, what is this? Neil deGrasse Tyson was a consultant on this. What did he do? Easiest job in the world.
Just wait till you check out that movie that I've told you to, where it combines every conspiracy theory
Oh, yeah.
all together plus dinosaurs.
Iron Sky, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to watch that sometime. I'm scared,
Make
though.
sure you're drunk.
Oh, good to
That's
know.
the only way that'll make sense.
All right. Well, I also have a book series on Amazon, Mesozoic, available for print and Kindle. I'm fairly certain I did not use an Iberomesornis in it, just because why would I? Also, I have a podcast, The Rit Wit, where two twits talk about writing. I definitely didn't use an Iberomesornis in that either. All right. Well, that's it for this week. As I say at the end of every episode of Paleobites. Ah, yes. The smile she's giving me, the crap-eating grin. Look.